Every person has a story. Some are filled with joy, love, laughter. Others are filled with heartbreak, pain, addiction, trials, problems, life. Welcome to season 2 of The Gate. This season, we're doing something a little bit different. Over the next 8 episodes, we're sitting down with 8 individuals, 8 stories. We will hear about the moments that shaped their lives. We will hear about their greatest battles and their greatest victories. These are not scripted testimonies that you're about to hear, but these are real conversations with real people and real stories. Behind every smile is a story. Behind every pew is a journey. So welcome to 8 Lives. This is The Gate. All right, well, Brother Clint, thank you for sitting down with us and doing this.
Sure.
Absolutely. Kind of. It really is.
It's okay. It's okay if it ain't. You ask me.
Yeah. Well.
You didn't ask. He asked, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Let's get to know you for the people that don't know you.
All right.
We'll start light, and then we'll get into the trauma.
Okay.
All the heavy stuff.
Okay.
Let's start today. Before we rewind, who are you today?
Today.
Who are you?
So you want my name?
Yeah.
Sure. Introduce yourself as you are today.
But then I want to know.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Okay, my name is Clint Ray Husband. I am a child of God. First and foremost, above and beyond anything else that I could ever be. Mm-hmm. I am a child of God, saved by mercy and grace. I'm a man on a mission. I've been lied to, deceived, and decepted, beat down, trodden down by the enemy of my soul to the point that it's war. And that's what I mean. I'm all about it. I don't care who likes me, who don't like me. I don't care what people think or say. If I have an opportunity or I even think there's an opportunity to pray for somebody, I don't care where we're at. I ask, can I pray for them? On the back of my hard hat, I'm a rigger, right? And on the back of my hard hat at work, it says, please ask me for prayer. And I mean that. And you know, I want to see people get things. I want to see healing. I want to see salvation. I want to see things. But I'm going to be just down dirt road honest with you guys. I'm just mad at the devil. And I want to tear down anything he's got going on. And whatever that looks like, that's what I'm about.
We're supposed to be starting light.
I was being light.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought.
just kidding. Well, are you married?
I am, to a beautiful woman.
Newlywed too.
Fairly. I would say the news kind of wore off, but it really hadn't. But it feels like it has because, you know, we were friends. For the first time in my life, I really became a friend with an individual when there wasn't no strings attached, you know. Mm-hmm. I became a real friend with a female, and it was just simply out of friendship. Had no intention to ever get married again. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to. Was okay with it. Had done settled with the thought that when I come home this time, I was going to be alone, you know. And God gave me this friend, and I guess y'all watched it. I kind of watched it evolve into what it is, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm married.
What keeps you busy? What do you do?
I work.
Tuesday?
On Tuesday?
Monday, Tuesday. Just during what keeps you busy?
Okay, so let me say it like this. My wife owns a yard service.
Yeah.
And I work for my wife's yard service.
Okay. That's who you are today.
Uh-huh.
So you are a minister.
I am.
I think
I
you
am.
are.
Well, thank you.
You preached this morning.
I did.
You told me it was one of your best yet.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that, I still feel like I get a little beside myself sometimes. I don't think it, Brother Jace, I don't think that it's shyness or any of that. I think I just, I get overcome. I know what I want to say, and I talk slow in case you can't figure that out. So sometimes I don't know how it happens because I don't got much of brain, Ryan, but my brain outruns my mouth sometimes.
Yeah, happens to me.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I am a minister, and I've come a long way, and I'm sure that we'll get into some of that. But I have an opportunity also to minister at the jail. Incarcerated men are on my heart. And again, I do want to see salvation. And please don't ever misconstrue what I'm saying. I do want to see them men's souls saved. But I want their children and their grandchildren to have a different life. And I know the lies and the deception that gets a man to that place in life. And I'm just sick and tired of seeing men lied to, bro.
Amen.
Sick and tired of it.
Amen. Yeah, well, we'll hopefully have a chance to do more of that.
This mic's attacking me, bro.
Just keep moving it back.
I'm gonna punch it in a minute. Well, we're good.
I need to change that mic.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to paint a picture because sometimes we are so close to something that we can't see it.
Right.
When I back away and look at your life, who I know today is a married family man. He's got a nice little family on a nice little piece of land. Living the American dream.
I am.
You are a small business owner.
I am.
That's a thing to be proud of, I think,
Sure.
in 2026.
Sure.
You're a minister who not just a minister, but you're a preacher. Anyone should be a man of God. That you are.
Right.
But I'd say you're
right.
even past being a man of God. You're used in your local church. You're used to go do jail ministry and that sort of thing.
Amen.
So I'm trying to paint a picture of who you are today.
Right. Right.
And it's neat because me and you have two different perspectives of this man because that's the only Brother Clint I've ever known.
Right. Yeah.
Because I've only known you since you've come home.
Right.
So I just thought that's neat. We've
Yeah.
we'll get into the rest of it, but go ahead.
And so I just wanted to lay that as the foundation, and then let's rewind.
Sure. All right.
Let's figure out how you got here.
Okay.
Let's start, and we'll just be real quick and not get hung up in any of this. But you grew up here
I
in
did.
Kirbyville?
I did. So I was born. I was born in Jasper, actually, and raised in. I like to tell people it's Bleakwood. I stand corrected most times, but some of the places we've been, guys, being from Kirbyville ain't real cool. I mean, people laugh at us, Ryan Riddick. At least I ain't from Call. But it's just the simplicity of it. So sometimes I tell people I'm from Bleakwood. I was raised, man, by good parents. Everything that I ever was and everything that I ever became, I did simply because I wanted to. It was a choice.
No, I want you to tell me about your childhood.
Okay, what do you want to know about my childhood?
Paint me a summer day for 10-year-old Clint.
10-year-old Clint? You want to start at 10?
Yeah, I just want him to get a picture of your childhood. You're
Okay.
a church boy?
I was, yes. I was raised, matter of fact, some of the best whoopings I ever got from my daddy was because it was church time and I would say I couldn't find a shoe or a shirt or, something because y'all was raised like I was. There's times as a kid you don't want to go to church.
Mm-hmm. Many of them.
I'm not, I don't want to go. So, of course, I can't find my shoe. And I did put it purposefully under the bed, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, yeah, sure. I took some pretty good, I was not abused. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but I got whooped a couple of good times from my dad for for thinking I was going to do something that would help me elude church, because my folks felt like that if the church doors was open, that's where I was supposed to be. Today, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Today I'm grateful for that, and I think honestly, it didn't hurt me at all, and I think that a lot more people should be that way with their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you find God really, like, as a teenager?
So-
You and God.
So I'm glad you asked that, because somewhere around the age of 7 or 8, Brother Jace, I had an encounter with God, a real encounter with God that was undeniable, unshakable, to the point, Brother Ryan, that it's probably still what I base some of my walk with God on, and that's the truth. We were raised up in my early childhood. We weren't really financially stable, maybe would be the word. I remember my clothes and my shoes and stuff coming from the Dollar General store, in my early adolescent years, and was glad to have them. Don't misconstrue me, but
Sure.
when the other kids was wearing Nikes, bro, I wasn't getting Nikes. I was getting Star Spangles or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
From the dollar store, and then it alluded up to my dad was a captain on a tugboat, so life got a considerable bit easier. But being raised the way I was raised, we had a baseball, and me and my brother was playing baseball in our yard, and I have a brother that's 3 years older than me, and he strummed me like a drum pretty good, He was my older brother, so he kept a bluff on me, So we was playing baseball in the yard, and he hit the ball over the fence, the back fence, into the pasture, and it was grown up at the time, and it was his turn to bat, so I had to go find the baseball, and vice versa, but this time it was him that hit it over the fence, and so I go out to find the baseball, and I tell God, I said, now I've been taught about you my whole life, and that you hear, and that you talk, and that you converse with people, and God, if you're really there and you can really hear me, then you show me where this baseball is. And Brother Jace Mitchell, sure as me and you sitting here, I'm not saying I heard it in my ears, but I heard it in my head, a voice. Mm-hmm. And he would tell me to turn and take so many steps, and I would do it, and he would tell me which direction to turn. And we probably went around there 3 or 4 good commands of me following, and then he told me to look down between my feet, and that baseball was between my feet. You'll never take that away from me. From that point on, I believed that I had reached a age of accountability, that he had become a God to me, and I knew unshakably that he was real. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Bro, that was not something, first off, I would have never found that baseball in that patch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And second off, me letting him talk to me and me hearing that voice. And later in life, I feel like that, today, when God talks to me, it's easy for me to hear. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But man, that started out as a kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I got baptized as a child, like I'm so sure others did. I prayed through, got the Holy Ghost somewhere around 8 or 9, and of course, I went on about being a red-headed boy.
Sure.
I was all boy.
What about teenage years?
So in and out of the church, I went to church, always was at church. Mm-hmm. Every sermon that a move of God was there, I prayed back through, spent time in prayer at the altar. you know, I'd live right for a couple of months, and then it wasn't that I was living wrong. I was just making crazy bad choices, you know, as a kid,
Right.
you know. But my heart was always in tune with God, you know.
At what age did you feel the call to preach, do you think? I mean, did that start early on?
It didn't. It
Okay.
didn't. So I tell people that I never wanted to be a preacher. I've had people tell me that that just can't be. That you know that I had to have a want to, or I literally had people tell me I had to have a want to, or God would have never called me. I don't know about all that, because I really, that's not what I didn't think that I want to be a preacher. You know, maybe I felt like, you know, that there was something I could do in the church. Now, we dress up, you know, the church, the kids in my church, and would come over to the house, or their parents would, and Amber Ozan would sing, and Deanne Royer and Renee Royer, and we'd play some instruments, and I might get a Bible and do some preaching, but I never really, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was like playing house. You know
Right.
what I mean? I
Right.
didn't think this is what I was going to grow up to be. So somewhere in my freshman year, I caught a disease. And it was I caught a disease called toxic shock syndrome. It's a disease that women get. I know how crazy it sounds, bro. And it was killing me. It was literally killing me, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They couldn't go against it because they didn't know what was going on. And actually, what I had was strep throat, but instead of getting my throat swelling up or anything, it went straight into my bloodstream. Toxic shock syndrome just means it's killing your system. So my system was dying a bit at a time, you know. I recall them telling my mother, I'm laying there, and I guess they think I can't hear or something, you know. I remember telling my mother that she needs to get the family there, that, you know, that we're going down. And so somewhere through all of that, I told God, you know, hey, I'm not wanting to die, you know. And so if whatever you got for me, well, then I come home and really got on fire for God. And, you know, of course I would do little silly things, and, you know, I dabbed in things I shouldn't have as a teenager in high school, and, you know, but really my heart was really always always I wanted to be what God wanted me to be. And one night I was asleep in my bed, and I had been praying, and I had felt the call to preach. I just felt like this is what God's got for me. And I heard an audible voice call my name, and I sat up. And I'm not no light sleeper, never was. My daddy'd have to take a 2x4 sometimes to get me up for school. But I sat up in the middle of my bed, and I had heard my name, and I heard that I was supposed to go to Bible college. Well, I was probably somewhere between my junior and senior year in high school. So I went back there, and I talked to my folks, because I really thought it was one of them that had come in there just fooling with me. I woke both of them up, bro. My daddy snored like a grizzly bear. So there wasn't, about halfway down there, I knew it wasn't him. And so then I realized that you know, this is what God had spoke to me. So I went to my pastor, and he reaffirmed it. He said, I was waiting on you. God's told me that some time back. I was just waiting on you. So yeah, probably around 17, closer to 18.
Okay, so then we end up going to Texas Bible College. But let me ask this to kind of give some more context to where I know we're going to end up. down the road. Was substance abuse a problem in high school?
No.
You never really got into any
No.
drugs or anything in high school?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you I didn't ever smoke a joint in high school.
Right.
Because I told you I dabbed in some things that I shouldn't have. Because I did. I smoked, maybe a joint here, a joint there. But, my heart, when everything else was quiet and still, my heart was I wanted to live for God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When everybody else is around and the party's going, the lights is on, everybody's there. I wasn't just off the deep end. I was a cowboy.
Right.
That's what I was going to be. And back then, cowboys didn't do drugs. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I was just really, really and truly probably just a old hard-working redneck. And I thought it was a cowboy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's we go to Bible college.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah. Man, when I went to TBC was in a pretty rough spot. Not that, probably the same spot it was when your papa went. That was in Houston. Yeah. Off Telephone and Broadway. So anybody knows anything about that area, that's pretty for lack of a better word, we'll just say slumming it. The college was nice. The dorm was everything was clean. It wasn't just the hood, but the hood was all around you.
Right.
And I was in love. I was in love with my high school sweetheart, Holly Ann Ness, was the love of my life, and I just was. That's what my heart.
Did she go to school with you?
She did not. She went to Lamar University. Was going to be a RN, a nurse, and I was going to go get this education from this Bible college. But between my senior year and my freshman year of Bible college, I worked in the construction field as a boilermaker, and I was raised working. So when I showed up to work. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. So they liked my work, and it benefited me. So they started paying me, got a few tools together, and they gave me my money about my third job into it. So I don't know, it was about $12 an hour, top pay. And they was giving it to me as a kid, and then I go back then, bro, and 93, 94, that was I was making some jack. And then I went to Bible college where I was not employed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me and God had some conversations, and I did tell him, if this is where you want me and I'm in your will, and I know that this is what you told me, then you let me know that this is where I'm supposed to be. I had broke my ankle playing basketball, and I just wanted to come home. Everything about me wanted to come home, And so I prayed that prayer, kind of fleeced God with it. 2 days later, they voted me vice president of freshman class. At the end of that week, I still packed my stuff and quit Bible college. One of the first major mistakes.
How pivotal do you think that was?
I think it was so pivotal that I probably can't even put it to words to explain it. I really do.
And I know we don't. And there's a question further down in here. It's a generic question about regrets, and the easy way out of that question is, well, I don't have any regrets. I'm thankful to be, where I'm at.
I got so many regrets, bro. I've got so many.
Whatever. I don't care what you say. You could put the fancy quote with it, but we all got regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the first big one?
Still, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was your heart and mindset then? I mean, are you, in your mind at that time, if you can go back, was it like, I'm still living for God, I just don't want to be in Bible school anymore?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it wasn't, there wasn't, you was not backslid per se, mentally, spiritually, in your heart or mind.
It wasn't nothing like that. I'm telling y'all, I love that long-haired, blonde-headed woman with my everything. And it just, man, I wasn't My heart wasn't in Bible college.
Sure.
I was making good grades. I was learning stuff. Had preached with some people that are pretty well known now. One of them was a good friend of mine, and and here I am. Just wasn't happy, bro. I just didn't want to be there. You know.
So you came back and you got married.
I did. I came home, and we had set a wedding date, and some things transpired, and so we offset that date to another date, and I got married, and had a home, a little piece of land. By the time I was 21, I had twin infant boys, 4-wheelers, deer leases in West Texas, on my own land. She had a car, I had a truck. Working, when I wasn't working on a shutdown, they would put me in with their maintenance on whatever maintenance company they had going. Kept me working all the time. Man, life was good, bro.
The Kirbyville boy's dream.
Yes, for lack of better words, I'm just going to say it like the blue collar redneck boy's life.
Yeah.
I had it. My picket fence wasn't picket. I think it was barbed wire or something, but that was, it was mine, and I had it.
It did. I've got a speculation, and because I've heard your story in bits and pieces, there was an accident.
There was
an accident. And I want you to talk me through it, but there was a turn here. You took a turn. Your life took
a devastating turn. It did.
When was that?
Well, knowing what I know now, sitting where I'm sitting, bro, after all the miles and the years, I'm going to go back to that decision in Bible college.
Right.
That's where it started. And that's just the cold, hard facts.
I believe that.
I do too. So, I had a
manifest, I guess.
Okay, so I had a deer lease in West Texas. And I was on it with my father-in-law and my Uncle Lanny. Actually, it was my wife's at the time, Uncle Lanny, but still to me to this day, Lanny Gibson's still my Uncle Lanny. So Mr. Leif and myself and my brother-in-law Rusty and Popo Gibson and Uncle Steve Blue, we was all on this deer leash. And man, hey, for an East Texas boy, you know what I'm saying, man?
Sure.
I was living.
Yeah.
I was living, bro. I had twin infant boys. I was used in my church. I had it going on. And
Paul, let me ask something just real quick, and I'll stop interrupting you. Was there any underlying?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Underlying, what's the word I'm looking?
Had issues started to manifest, underlying, unbeknownst to other people, that may not have showed up that you were aware of.
Here's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Was there any underlying sin? Were you sneaking around, not necessarily on your wife, but with sin? Was there something beginning to creep in and begin to manifest? Or not really?
Yeah, probably so, bro. Probably. There were some things in my life, for some reason, young men, I loved to dip snuff. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Growing up, it was one of the things that I wrestled with. My whole early living for God as a teenager, I loved it, to be quite blunt, I wrestled with it this time in a place that I was living in my life, and God gave me an answer. I felt, anyway, we can get into that later, but so just things were just, it wasn't things that were prominent, or you know, just what ifs and maybes, and maybe a little slip here, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe a little porn somewhere through there. Not again, not nothing prominent or live
Sure.
depth, but yeah,
Yeah.
you know, knowing what I know today, yeah, it was massive things.
Maybe just not sold out.
Right. Just
Yeah.
some, you know, just took it for granted.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because I knew where I had been in my school years, and as a teenager, I knew where I'd been, and I knew that, you know, well, I tried this and God forgave me, and I tried this and God forgave me, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize in any form that if I was looking at porn, I was cheating on my wife. I'd never registered. I'd never felt that way.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't what I wasn't. I'm not even real sure, young men, to be real honest with you, that if I ever would have ever thought about it that way, that I would have even looked at porn. Because I love that woman. I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I'm going to say it, and it's probably weird, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I probably still love that woman. Yeah. I am not in love with that woman.
Yeah.
But that was my dream. That was just,
Right.
you know, I had everything at that point, and it was just, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
That's where we were then. So you've got a hunting lease with the family.
Right.
Life's good.
Life's good. So opening day, I believe it was maybe the year of 95, I believe it was. Opening day, my boys were infants, and they were preemie. I know if you look at them now, it would be hard for me to convince y'all of that, but I could hold them boys in my hand. One hand, I could hold both them boys in. They're monsters now.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so I drove out there by myself. Everybody else had went ahead, but I had to stay back and work. And anyway, I drove out there. Opening morning, we all got up, and I killed a 10-point buck that morning and took him back, and we field dressed him. And me and my brother-in-law, Rusty, he's dead and gone now, but he and I were going to go put corn in the deer feeder. And so we took off, and I told you that I had been blessed, man. I owned a four-wheeler, a Grizzly Big Bear, I think is what they call them. Had the little lever over here for the four-wheel drive, and and I had big swamping mud grip tires on it. And so we went through a gate, and he'd opened it, so I stayed back to close it, and I closed the gate and took off after him. And I don't know, somewhere through it, I think that my head caught on about 100 square foot of rock, and it crushed my face, broke my jaws all up, and put me in a coma, gave me some brain damage.
So hold on. That was, how did the four-wheeler wreck happen? Going through a gate?
No, so he went through the gate and he went on. I stayed to shut.
He was on a four-wheeler.
No, he was on a four-wheeler too.
Okay.
And he went right, and he went on, and
He's on his four-wheeler. You're on
and I'm on my four-wheeler. Right,
Okay.
right. So he went on, you know, and I guess y'all didn't know Rusty, but Rusty was one of them Leonard Skinner, Freebird. You know, both of them Nest boys were into hot rods, and you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And we were
Yeah,
just old country boys like y'all.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on a four-wheeler and you've run off, I'm going to catch you.
Right,
You know
right.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, you ain't leaving me.
Yeah.
And even sometimes to this day, I still, you know, just sometimes at night, not very much no more. It used to happen more often, but I can still kind of feel, you know, think about it, and I feel the shift of the four-wheeler like you, and then I don't remember nothing.
So it probably rolled on you. Something hit something.
Obviously it rolled, and I flew off.
Yeah.
The handlebars were all bent up, and I got up and was walking back to the camp. This is what I've been told. Of course, I don't remember none of this. And Rusty come riding up beside me and was talking to me, and he said when I turned, maybe my eye was out of socket, and just and he just freaked out, and they actually flew a helicopter out and life flighted me to. I was in not Llano, but Mason. My dear lease was in Mason. So they life flighted me from Mason to Breckenridge Hospital in Austin. And my mom and dad were on a cruise. My wife and the children and everybody was back back home. And when everybody got out there, they put me in ICU, and they wouldn't put me together because my brain was swelling. And they wasn't sure if I was even going to live, They had told them that if I did live, that it would be a miracle. And, if I did, there was a high percentage that I'd be a vegetable the rest of my life, that I just wouldn't. So they, everybody, whatever, went home or whatever. And the ICU nurse said she walked by the door of the ICU and she heard somebody singing. And so she just followed it, and it led her to the foot of my bed. And I was singing, "Yes, Jesus loves me." And that even in the state that I was in, I gave her 2 phone numbers. The very first one, she called and she said, "That one don't work." And I gave her another phone number. And now this was just prior days too. They said I'd be a vegetable. The second phone number I gave this woman, my mother-in-law in Deweyville, Texas, picked up the phone. So from being a vegetable, or supposed to be a vegetable, to being able to tell your in-law's phone number, what a miracle, bro.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
How long was that recovery?
I'm not sure. I'm still not recovering, bro.
That too.
So a couple of days, they put me together. A couple of days, I left the hospital.
Went back home?
I did. And again, I tell you, we had twin infant boys.
Mm-hmm.
I went home with 2 bottles of liquid morphine. My mouth was wired shut. I couldn't take pain pills, so that was to help with the pain. And so when I heard, I drank, right? I told y'all before, I really never had any substance abuse problem.
Yeah.
It run in my family line. I'm not saying that, but I didn't have one. So then I started having epileptic seizures. Things just, the man that I was before my head got hit and the man I was then when I woke up are 2 different people. My attitude was different. My demeanor, the way I treated people and acted, I just wasn't the same guy.
For the worse.
For the worse. A bad temperament. So I never abused my wife. I'm 52 years old in October, and I've never hit a woman. Not slapped a woman. Not pushed on a woman. I don't. And I do. I'm prideful of that. I do. So I didn't abuse her in that way, but I'm sure that some of I can be pretty hateful with my mouth. I was probably pretty rough on her, and we had infant boys, and it was just a struggle. She told me that she was going to go to her mama's for some help, and I told her if she did, don't come back. She did, and she didn't. She went to mama's, and she ain't never been back. And so what I had found in the, of course, through all of that, you got to think about, I went from a young man that had a job and was providing to a young man that they wouldn't even give me food stamps to take care of my family because I had made too much money the year before. You know what I'm saying? Now we're just stuck. I'm having seizures. I try to work a job, but I lose my job, or, just craziness.
And you're alone at this point?
No. This was at the early part of all of this transition going on when me and Holly were still together.
Okay.
And it just got to the point that just, because one day I'd be fine, just good as, and the next day I'd just be somebody totally different, just like I was just a schizophrenic or something, and
During this time, what was your kind of your heart and mindset towards God at this point? I mean, did you feel angry that it happened?
No, I didn't. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. It was just part of life, it's just part of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was still, if you ask me, I was still living for God, and you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I guess it depended on the day and where my mind was on what I would do or not do. Maybe maybe the porn got a little heavier after that. I'm not sure. I don't really recall. I do know that I learned that for the problems going on at home and the arguments and things, that the same thing that helped me with my pain, my physical pain, would help me with the emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
That's where
substance
it started. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And when did it turn from legal to illegal? I mean, because initially that stuff was just prescribed.
Right. So
better,
after mine and Holly's separation and divorce,
Well, one more question. What was the timeline there? How long after your accident until she said, "I'm going to go see my mom"?
So probably a year.
Okay.
Give or take.
Right, a year of tension, a year of
maybe a little more than that, bro. Maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I really, let's see. In '97, they said that I was, they dubbed me unfit for the workplace. That I wasn't mentally stable enough to being loose in the workplace.
What was because of the seizures or because of?
No, because I just really didn't care no more, bro.
Yeah.
But now, and that's where I got, and they said that gave me disability, that I was, unfit, and that kind of went hand in hand with, wherever we reached the part that she left, and guys, we were kids. I'm not angry at her. I'm not resentful. She did what she had to do to save her and them kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I was physically abusive, but I'm sure I was somewhat, verbally. I don't recall being, but I'm sure I was. Somewhere through there were some things said and done that I can tell you today that aren't as they were said that they were, that just didn't happen. I never slept around on her. I never cheated on her. I say that, but then when you talk about, maybe looking at porn is cheating, then if so, then I probably did.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But physically go sleep with somebody, I never did.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that's what was alluded, that I was sleeping with this one, that one, another one, and bro, I just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got mad at God, and I told God that if this is the best you got going, I don't need you.
Mainly around that time that she left.
That's right. If this is, I'm giving you this, and I'm trying, and this is what you're going to pay me with.
I've heard you say this before. Was that a literal conversation?
It was.
Can you picture that moment, or was that just a lifestyle shift?
No, it was not. It was I walked in my prayer closet, my place that I spent my time in prayer. I have one at my home now, and it's my bedroom. I think that everybody ought to have a prayer closet somewhere that's not just at the church. But anyway, and I walked in it, and I told God, this is the best you got, then, I just told him, you can go F yourself, and I'll take care of this myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In hindsight, what was the problem? Because obviously it wasn't God. We know it wasn't God. What was the problem?
With which? What
Well,
problem is it that we're talking? There was a lot of them, bro.
yeah, I guess, was it that you weren't really giving him your best? Was it that you were just being tested? Was it a test?
You
Could it
know,
maybe been
okay,
that?
okay, okay. So yeah, I see what you're saying. So yes, let me tell you. So somewhere through this, prior to all of these major things happening, I had told God and the devil publicly with my mouth. I had said, God, I'm your modern day Job. Devil, there ain't nothing. I'm not ever gonna. Just not. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna quit.
That was smart.
Well, it was. I got a whole lot of them park smellers. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
I got a whole lot of those. So yeah, yeah. So then when it come time for me to really be tested, I fell apart.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of want to go back to that exact moment when you walked in and you had that conversation with God. Did you feel a change right then and there? I mean, I'm just, that feels so, you know what I mean? So definite, so strong willed. Can you say, or were you just so wrapped up in the anger that it is what it
I
was?
think, Ryan. I think that I felt. Yeah, I think I felt a final statement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm that way today with people. If I try and try and try and I
Right.
reach that spot, I'm done. There ain't nothing you can do to change it.
Yeah.
I don't care. All the sorries, all the I'm not gonna, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's kind of final. And maybe that's something I should work on, Brother Ryan. But and that's kind of what I felt in that conversation really was.
Yeah.
Because I'm in it. I'm done. I don't care. You don't have nothing to offer me that I want. I'm done.
Yeah.
So I
Looking at my notes here before we kind of move into the next stage of your life, was there a point that you realized you were losing everything and maybe followed through with it? Was there a point that you realized I'm going to lose my family if I don't? Did it feel that deliberate? Did it feel like I'm in control and I can do something to stop this or save
not
this?
ever. Not ever.
It was just
It was
you
just-
were a part of this.
This is happening to
It
me.
was just
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
It was just happening, and I was there, brother.
Yeah. Were there people trying to help that you pushed away?
I don't know that I pushed them away. I guess I did in my own way because I just kind of may have ignored some of it, But there was a lot. There was a lot, guys, and
Was there a man of God in your life?
uh,
Really in your life, if you know what I mean.
I do. My pastor was a great man, and my pastor at the time, and and later, your papa become my pastor somewhere in there, and I had made a decision that, as a lot of people did at that time, when your papa come here, he was a little charismatic for some of us. I'm just
Yeah.
being honest.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't, and I think y'all have heard me. I publicly apologized to him one time over that. So people would try, but I didn't really push them away. I just, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to say though that I had somebody that just stayed on and tried and tried and tried. Somewhere through there, my wife got mad at me, so she really had done quit trying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My in-laws had kind of, that's their baby. That's their
Yeah.
little girl, so they had kind of quit trying, My parents, I don't think really, people really didn't realize the extent of until it kind of hit home when they dubbed me unfit for the workplace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, people's like, "Oh, well,
They didn't realize
there really was a problem. There really is a problem." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to see several psychiatrists and all that before they ever. And brother, I just didn't care. I just simply didn't care. I'd reached that place in my life, and you know, angry, resentful. So I become a tyrant and a nuisance. You know, it's hard to tell somebody with a little bit of size and a little bit of know how to fight that just don't care. You don't tell them a whole lot. You just hope that they hurry up and get done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just who I was. It's just where I had got my life.
So between 97 around there, through your wife walking away, and then we're coming
That was
to a
somewhere
place-
around between 95 and 97. I lost my wife and my
Okay.
kids. Then somewhere I was with a young lady that had a little boy, and so I was with her, I don't know, for about 5 years, I guess, somewhere through there. Maybe 4 years, 5 years or something.
Would you consider yourself backslidden?
Oh, yeah, I was gone, bro. I'd
So
already
after-
kicked God out of my life.
Right. After that
I made it.
conversation-
Now listen to me. Listen to me. So there's no doubt about what I'm fixing to say. There's no way that you can lose your salvation. Absolutely no way. It cannot be lost. However, the only power and deity that can do anything to take your salvation away from you is God Almighty, and He gave it to you. Why would He take it back? Right?
Right.
However, you can make your mind up and decide that that's not what you want. And friend, I don't care what you say. You kicked God out of your life.
Yeah.
You did that.
Right.
And I had done that. Oh, if God had come, I would have bust the gates of hell right open. If somebody would have done to me what should have been done, and somebody would have just blown my brains out,
Yeah.
I would have went straight to hell. No doubt.
So what kind of lifestyle were you living? Drug addiction?
So yeah, it started, it started out, of course, as y'all know, it started out with prescription medication. And, and then when that wasn't doing it no more, I started dabbling with this, that, and the other, and started selling drugs. I started running with a rodeo crowd again and riding bulls and
What was the drug? What was the drug of choice?
methamphetamine.
Okay.
So, I started moving meth and doing meth and, living that lifestyle.
How did this? So okay. So, and this is I'm always intrigued. I don't know why. Just the point. So okay. So just because you had that conversation, as you say, to quote your own words, you kicked God out of your life. Well, up until this point, you've lived for God. So most of your relationships, I'd imagine, as far as friends, were in church. I mean, how did you? What was the introduction to illicit drugs?
Okay, so the men on construction sites are, you got your do's and your don'ts. You got your men that work and the men that don't. You know what I'm saying? And then you got men that work hard all the time. And some of them don't ever stop. They don't want a lunch break. Well, it don't take no Einstein to understand it. Somebody working that hard and they're not eating, there's something else is going on.
Yeah.
And so there was a few guys in my life that were a lot older than me, that knew that I was taking pain pills and whatever, and they were using methamphetamines, and so they kind of introduced me to it. I had some friends where they became friends of mine in that lifestyle that were here in town that drove trucks, so they were into methamphetamine, and I had a few people I connected with in the rodeo world that was moving some methamphetamine and just some men on jobs that had some connects with people in California. So it just all kind of went hand in hand, brother.
It was in a very functional way. I mean, it was in a very go to work kind of way.
I did. I functioned well. So I told you somewhere through there, gave me disability and said that so then it wasn't just about the work anymore. And so then I was, rodeoing and just, for lack of a better word, man, I just become a whore. I just didn't care, bro. I was doing what I wanted to do. Then, they giving me a little check. Well, I'd work it for my mom and dad during the week and make money and get a little disability check and driving new trucks, making money selling dope. Couldn't ride worth spit, but I thought I could. You couldn't tell me no different. You know what I'm saying? Just spending money going to Las Vegas to the NFR and just living, man. Just what I thought was living. Just wide open and going nowhere.
So then we're coming to a place where you're about to get incarcerated for the first time.
For the first time.
Through this illegal lifestyle, you had never gotten in trouble, though.
So I got stopped one time for, I don't know, I think they clocked me at like 120, something like that on the highway. But nothing, no, I didn't have no drug charges or nothing like that. Right. So they charged me with a deadly conduct because I was driving too fast. And I done some weekend time in the county, in Hardin County.
So you did get locked up?
I did. I don't know, probably 4 weekends consecutively in a row. Like I'd go
locked up every weekend?
Yeah, I'd go in on Friday night and get out Sunday afternoon.
You'd go turn yourself in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To do your time for this?
To do my time for this deadly
conduct.
Okay.
Okay, I see.
Right, and then it just kind of disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Just I gave them what they wanted, and it just kind of went away.
Right. Huh. Well, was that scary? Was that like, man, I'm crossing I'm turning?
No, never.
Okay.
Never. I was so full of hate and anger and resentment, bro. I think I fought the whole weekends I was in there.
Okay. So this was becoming who you were.
Yeah.
Was prison? I mean, no one wakes up thinking, man, I'm going to go to prison. But was prison kind of in the scope of your thinking of, if I keep doing this, I may end up
absolutely.
So it was there.
So the first, I think I seen my daddy cry twice in my life, and maybe once was when his dad died. I'm not saying I seen him cry, but I'm pretty sure I seen his eyes water up. And one time I was sitting on his back porch, and he looked at me and he said, "Son, if you don't change things, they're gonna kill you because they're scared of you." And pretty much, he wasn't just bawling, but I could tell that his emotion was in it,
Yeah.
And so I knew that it was either somebody was going to kill me or I was going to jail.
Yeah.
So then when I went to jail for the first time, they sent me and I went to the penitentiary, and I don't know, a couple of days, and it seemed like, and
can we back up? Can we talk about how you ended up there?
Sure. So I had to rent properties, and some individuals in that rent property they weren't taking care of their rent and everything like they should. And and I wanted some extra money, you know what I'm saying? So I just was going to go in there and take something. And they came home while I was in there. So all I did was walk out the door right in front of them, you know what I'm saying? And what else am I going to do, Yeah. So I went to prison the first time for burglary of a habitation.
What was your sentence?
So they sent me to prison. I don't know, bro. I think it turned into something like a shock thing, because they sent me. I was in prison in Huntsville for, I don't know, a couple of 2 or 3 days, and they moved me from there to a substance abuse program, and I was there for about 11 months.
Okay, so the substance abuse program wasn't like prison.
Well,
or
I mean, it was, it was prison run. It was had fence around it. It wasn't. Yeah, it was. You wasn't going. No, you was in prison, bro. They told you when to get up, what to eat, when to go to bed. It was
When you went
and there was prison guards that was over it.
right when you went to Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first day like in there?
Um.
Scary.
Yeah. I was scared. I was scared, bro. I mean, I'd been in jail. I liked to fight growing up, and so, but it was just a whole different atmosphere of people than I was used to.
Do you remember your first day?
I mean, I remember they stuck me in a cell, bro, that the toilet was full of mess. Just, I mean, and it was just horrid. This whole cell just was rank and it just nasty. And I thought, man, this is this is it.
Life.
This is it for real,
Yeah.
And people screaming and hollering and shaking the doors and just no quietness ever, ever,
Really?
no quietness. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. All hours of the day and night, it didn't matter. It's like a breathing organism, just and so I finally got out of that cell and moved to another cell, and it wasn't 2-3 days later they sent me over to this other place. Well, bro, I'm not no dummy, it's hard for people to believe sometimes, but so I understood that they had levels in this thing that you could reach, I don't like people telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I played their little games, and before it was all over with, I was a house elder. I was running the whole dorm. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have to, or is that strictly gang related, or that's just prison related?
No, that was not. That whole thing was a prison related substance abuse felony punishment program. They call it Safe P. And it's got tiers to it,
Oh, so this is legal.
Yeah, this
Right.
is above.
No,
This
this is
This is the system's ranking.
the system's
Okay.
ranking, and I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hey, I know how to do.
Right.
I can do this.
Yeah.
My dad and mom come and see me, and my dad asked me in one of the visitations. He said, "Have you learned anything?" And I said, "I have." He said, "What's that?" I said, "This didn't do it. I'm gonna have to come back." Somewhere through this, I decided that I could do time.
This might be a silly question.
I knew how to do time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Maybe too silly. Were your parents disappointed?
Yeah, to say the least.
I mean, who was more disappointed?
Or
was it like that? I mean, what was going on there?
My mom was a lot more emotional than my dad. They love me, but my dad was done with me a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If it would have been up to my dad, he'd have cut the rope, and I'd have been swinging out there by myself a long time ago. Not that he didn't love me, just just done. Yes, I tried and tried and tried, and just no, I'm done. But not my mama. Poor soul. She tried to help me, and I think that the more she helped me, the more she hurt me. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? It went from help to being a crutch somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I took it for granted. Mama's got me.
Yeah.
You be mad at me all you want to, old man. Mama's got me. I didn't go ask daddy nothing. I went straight to mama.
Yeah.
So that's what I had going on in life, man, and it was I was okay with it. I knew I had to go back to prison. And then when I got out, I thought that, hey, maybe I can live this life. Maybe I can,
Your day-to-day life was quality of life better being in prison rather than out. I would imagine you were involved in less substance,
sure,
less going on.
Right.
I mean,
Did
you notice that at the moment, or was it, I can't wait to get out of here? What?
No, I I had started out a workout regime. You know, I'd done that in county before I ever went to the joint. So I was buffing back up, started to get my weight up, to look good, feel better about myself. Still mad, mad at the world. Really still blame God, really, at the base of all of it. You could have prevented this.
Yeah.
And this what?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was I started reading my Bible, but really, I knew that I wasn't done. And I knew I wasn't fixing to sell out, live for God.
Yeah.
So I didn't make no pretense of it. I wasn't trying to, this is what it is, if you want to pray for me, fine, cool. If you want to talk about God,
yeah.
A lot of people in there, I talk to them about God, about repentance, about the need for salvation, about water baptism in Jesus' name, what it took to change your life if you really want to change your life. I knew I wasn't fixing to change my life, but if somebody else wanted to, I wanted to do everything I could to help them.
That's interesting.
So
I guess that would have been
just wasn't there.
A follow-up question. I mean, obviously, if you were mad at God, you weren't an atheist. You had to believe in Him.
No, yeah.
To be mad at Him.
I'm telling you, bro, listen to me, young men, from that 7 or 8 year old conversation, there has not ever been no doubt in my mind that God is who He is.
Yeah. So, were there moments of clarity or those moments when after the day's done and you've done your deeds, you lay down at night and if the trumpet sounds, I know where I'm going.
Sure.
Did you ever have those moments? Not that you repented or wanted to repent, but did you ever have those moments of clarity or those moments of, man, I ought to just go back, or were you pretty much just?
Bro, what's crazy is this. I'm going to say this, and it sounds almost, I don't even know if lunaticular is a word, but it almost sounds just plain stupid. I didn't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
I did not want to go to hell.
Sure.
But I was so mad, I just didn't care at the time. It's kind of like these prison sentences, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I wanted to go to prison. I just didn't care.
Didn't care. Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to do what we got to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And, we'll pay the consequences when we get there. And I felt that way about hell. I didn't want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to go to prison.
Right.
But it's just part of, if this is who I'm going to be, this is what I got to pay if they catch me.
Yeah.
Thank God they caught me. And thank God that God didn't end my life or let me in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Thank God. Because I would have been in eternity forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we had to keep this thing moving, but not to backtrack, the anger. I'm trying to pinpoint that. Was that because you felt like you did things right up front? God, I gave you my life.
Yeah, it was.
I made this family. I got married the right way. I'm ultimately I'm living for you, and you didn't fulfill your end of the deal.
Right.
Bad things happened to him.
Right.
That's what
I did. Yes. I felt like that I was trying, man. I admit that I wasn't doing everything right, and I had, you know what I'm saying, but.
Right.
Trying.
Yeah, pointed in the right direction.
I was trying. I repented of whatever. If I did something, I went and repented.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, I'm just going to, go to sleep with all this sin. I'm like, no, God, I really want to do the right thing. I
think it's a very just interesting point because number one, it's where most people live their life. When I say most people probably listening to this podcast are Christian, and they're full of sin, as we all are.
Right.
But they're trying.
Trying.
They want to live for God.
Trying. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep, God, Lord, I love you. I'm sorry. I know I hurt your heart today, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
And God, I don't. And true repentance, because I didn't want to do it again because the pain and the anguish of I disappointed him. I let him down again. So when I would tell him, God, I'm sorry, it was true.
Yeah.
And it was true repentance. I didn't want to go back and do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I wasn't so to the place that I wouldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? I was still listening.
Right.
I was still
had the
listening.
conviction, the
Right, I
heart.
still had
Yeah,
conviction.
yeah.
You know, that's the part that in there is the point when I kicked him out of my life. You asked me, was it a physical? Did I feel something? And it's kind of just final.
Yeah.
And when I said that, it's kind of like that right there. Even when I knew that the conviction would fall, because conviction didn't ever stop falling.
Yeah.
I kicked him out. He didn't kick me out.
Right.
Are
Right.
you with what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So when the conviction would fall, I would just
Push it off.
push it off.
Yeah.
Do another line or drink another beer
go
or
further.
sleep with another woman. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just not answering that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything but that.
Yeah. And it eventually, as y'all know, I don't know that y'all know it personally, but y'all know it. I'm telling y'all now, personally, as a man, I believe y'all believe that it does dull it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
eventually, the word says that you believe a lie,
Right. Yeah.
come down.
Be damned.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm okay.
Right.
I don't feel conviction no more. Well, no, you don't.
Right.
It's not that it wouldn't try. It's just no use in trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
If their hearts will wax.
Right.
Cold.
Right's cold. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, to
Or believing in a God and denying the power thereof.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I believe in it. I always believed in God.
yeah.
Always. And would get high and preach sermons. Really.
Yeah.
Preach sermons and have people just bawling and squalling, and they would be talking to God. And you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm so high to,
Yeah.
that's, the anointing goes without repenting,
Yeah.
guys. It does.
You spent almost a year in prison.
That time.
And the year's what after you get out?
So what do you mean the years?
What year? What year?
Oh,
did you get out?
2000 and somewhere around 2001.
Okay, and then how long are you out for?
About 4.5, 5 years.
Pretty much the same lifestyle before you went in.
Not at first, but eventually alluded to it. I got married to another person, to another girl, another person, obviously, but to a young lady, and moved to Washington. But at the end of the day, bro, when your life's undone and you have a hole and you're trying to fill it, you're always going to fill it with something.
Yeah.
So when mine and her argument started or whatever, well, when the whiskey wasn't working no more, then the cocaine started.
Right.
And then from the cocaine, of course, it went back to the meth and just till I came back to Texas and was just living my life.
Yeah.
I had a job at FINA, and I was coming home from work. I'd been pulling fin fan plugs all night by myself, running an 1.5 impact, and I don't know what y'all know about those, but they're heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been running it all night, just one behind another, and I was tired, bro. And up here, 96 between here and Buena, I fell asleep. Well, I pulled over. I run out of gas, actually, in Cougar Country, and my dad come and brought me some gas, but he had to wake me up. And he woke me up, and I got out and put the gas in the truck, and I took off, and I fell asleep again. I was running off the road. When I woke up, I overcorrected and ripped one of the tires hubs and all off my truck and blowed the other one on the front out and did 360s and went into the southbound lane, and all the other vehicles stopped, but this one little van kept coming, man. Hit me head on, and I mean, it's like slow motion because I can see it and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Nothing. It ain't like it's just right on top of me. I mean, he came for, I don't know, 400 feet before he hit me. So there was plenty of time to stop.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but that wasn't his fault. It was my fault. I was in his lane.
Yeah.
And anyway, the man lost his life. So I was still kind of on probation from this prison sentence and all of the hoopla to go with it.
It had been around how many years?
It was about 4.5 years.
Okay.
After I got out of there and got everything going and got to,
Right.
so they gave me this prison sentence. They gave me this time in this place. And then they sent me to a halfway house for 3 months or something. And then they put me on this probation stint for like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
And I was almost done with the probation stint
Yeah.
when this wreck happened. And so the highway patrol said that he could tell that I was just out of my mind. And, bro, that's all lies. I wasn't. I hadn't been high. I wasn't doing no dope, no nothing. I had been. Now, 4 days prior to that, I had stayed home and been shooting cocaine for, I don't know, a day, literally a whole day just by myself, you know. But then I had rested up and went back to work. And so I wasn't high. I hadn't done no dope. So whatever he was talking about, that just wasn't the truth. But either or. So my probation officer sent me back to prison on violation. And I did 8 months of that, made parole, and then they come and took my parole away from me. I thought I was going home, and I sat there for about 30 days waiting on them. And finally, I said, hey, man, what's up with the parole officer on the unit? And he's like, look, you know, you got a FI-1. That means you're going home any day now. Well, that night, like on a Monday evening, they sent me to the mail room the next day. I went down there and I got divorce papers from my wife in Washington. And that's on a Tuesday. So Tuesday night, they bring me another lay-in. I go down to the mail room. So Wednesday morning, I go down there and I get a paper from Jasper County saying they was charging me with intoxicated manslaughter. I went back. So Thursday evening at mail call, they gave me another piece of paper. I had to go back to the room down there, to the mail room, and I went down there and I got a paper from the parole office saying they took my parole away from me. Bro, I'm in a dorm with 50-something men, grown men, you know what I'm saying? I mean, thugs and whatever, but they're still men. You know, I sat down on my bunk and cried like a baby. I know what I'm saying. Really?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was at my wit's end, bro. But I had already been down there fighting and established, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't.
And so this bunk that you're in, this is in the penitentiary?
This is in the penitentiary, right? And at the Larry Gish unit in Beaumont. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hired a lawyer. He had me bench warranted back to Jasper. He tried to get me to sign for 10 years. And I told him there wasn't no way I was signing for 10 years. I'd already told him that in the letter. I'm not doing that. So I ended up firing him. But as soon as I fired him, they sent me back to prison. Well, I hired another lawyer out of Jasper. And so he got it down to an 8-year sentence. Run concurrent with what I was doing, because the parole officer told him, she said, look, he did everything he was supposed to do, but because of this DPS officer wrote, I sent him back to prison, you know. And he said, okay, so really you send him back to prison over this charge. So by the time I go back to Jasper County with the second lawyer, I've been in prison for 2 years. Well, that goes against the 8-year sentence I'm signing for.
What were they wanting to charge you? What was the prosecutor wanting to charge you with?
Wanted to charge me with intoxicated manslaughter with affirmative finding of a weapon.
Okay, so what was the sentence? Do you remember what, like, the years?
So yeah. It runs anywhere from 2 to 20 years.
Okay.
2 to 20. They had started out with a 15. You know, I think really probably, brother, to be honest, I think that's kind of standard. No, I don't know. So they told me that another 30 minutes, cocaine wouldn't even have showed up in my blood. That's how it was.
Yeah.
So 0.08 is the intoxicant level in the state of Texas.
Right.
My blood cocaine level was 0.03.
Right.
You know, and it took them this long the whole time before they could ever charge me with it, because they kept saying that's not even an intoxicant level. So
Yeah.
the way they finally got me was, back then it wasn't that a DWI meant you was drinking and driving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, they don't even write DWIs, I don't think, anymore. They write DUIs.
DUIs, yeah.
That covers a plethora of whatever.
Under the influence.
Under the influence, it doesn't matter. You be under the influence of a bad attitude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, so it took them some time to be able to do it, but yeah, so then again, man, I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad. I mean, I wasn't high.
Right.
You know, and it took me a while to come to the grips, you know, that I mean, it bothered me that a man lost his life. It bothers me today, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And I did play a part in it. I was in his line of traffic. It doesn't matter if I think he shouldn't have been driving or not. You know, that's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, I put myself in his place to take his life.
But genuinely, it was an accident.
It was an
And
accident.
genuinely, it wasn't because you were intoxicated.
I was not intoxicated. I was not, you know, for all the things that I did to try to hurt people and possibly even take some lives along the way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, this was the one time that I didn't mean for nobody to get hurt.
Yeah.
And somebody got hurt the worst way, you know?
Right.
And it was just simply an accident.
Yeah.
So you took the 8-year plea.
I took the 8-year plea. Yes, sir. I did 7.5 of it.
Where at? Did they move you?
They did. So they sent me, let's see, I went back to Jasper County the second time. When I come back, they sent me to a place called Bartlett State Jail in Bartlett, Texas. That's out a little north of Austin. That's probably the hardest time I've ever done in my life. It's a state jail facility, but it has TDC on it, and it's not run by TDC. It's run by I can't think of what they're called, but they wear white shirts. It's just like a federal, not the feds, but it's just a federal security system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really a joke, bro.
Right.
It's really a joke. It's
what
a
made it hard?
wide open prison.
The inmates or the
The inmates. The inmates. The doors never stayed locked. You know, everybody was shooting up and staying high, and it was just so wide open. You slept with your shoes on, like the three of us would be in a pod. Not all three of us ever slept at the same time.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? It was just that. It was that you're fighting for your life.
really.
24/7. You know, we're sleeping as close as we can get to each other and just watching. If somebody starts in your direction, then I gotta holler and get it. We gotta get it because it's time to. I mean, just wide open, bro. Hard time. That's hard time, bro.
What was your time in there like? What was the first day like? What you
In
make some friends?
Bartlett?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the first prison you were in.
Oh no.
For the sentence.
Since I had been resentenced,
Yes.
it was.
Not counting the time served.
Right. Yes. Not. Yeah. This was the first part with this new intoxicated manslaughter sentence that I had. Yeah, but it wasn't. You know, I mean, bro. You know, I killed somebody. It wasn't like. I don't know how else to say this, but it wasn't like I fooled somebody's kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
Yeah.
They wasn't checking my face. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I was white, so I was not wanted to, nor would I settle for any kind of gang activity. You know, but I am white, so if it kicks off, I'm fighting with the white guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No doubt. You know, I established myself. I'd already like to fight, so
Right.
you know, I would tell them. But at this time in my life, though, I had already acquired a prayer life and was reading my Bible because I had done decided that this just wasn't what I wanted. You know, this wasn't.
When did you decide that?
Yeah.
So somewhere after they sent me back to after I'd been to Jasper County, well, let's see, maybe it was somewhere around the time that I realized that they was going to charge me with this manslaughter charge. You know what I'm saying? I realized, hey
Yeah.
man, I really took somebody's life.
Yeah.
Right.
This has went too far.
Been enough.
You know, even though I wasn't high, bro, to be honest with you guys, I fell asleep that day coming home from work. Maybe if I hadn't have stayed up 3 or 4 days prior to that,
Right.
shooting cocaine all day, I might have been rested
Yeah.
and been there.
Not in a sleep deficit.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't have. I'd have been fine.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Lifestyle.
So, and I'm not no dummy, so I could have credited it to what it was. You
Right.
know, and so this lives went. You know, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings sings a song about this outlaw. He don't say the word crap, but it's gotten out of hand, and that's just kind of where I was. It's just got way overboard.
Yeah.
You know, now people's losing their life that I'm not meaning to lose their life.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I've done some pretty horrible things to people. I don't know if they lived or died, and I really don't care. And that's just blunt. I know that sounds tacky, but it's the truth. That's where I was in my life. But I feel like whatever they got, they deserved. You with me?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Now I've killed an innocent man.
Yeah.
You know, any way you look at it, somebody lost their life because of me.
Yeah.
And so it started weighing on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, quick prison Q&A. What was the hardest part? Hardest part. What's your worst prison memory?
I guess I really don't have just one, bro.
Tell me the 5 things you hate most about prison. I've never been to prison.
Okay.
People are curious.
Okay, the number one thing that I hate the most about prison is just the noise, bro.
Really?
Just the noise. More than anything. Just there's no quiet.
Yeah.
There's just no peace. It's always unstable. Just always, you know.
Are you always in a state of fear?
Nah, not really.
But not relaxed either, I'd imagine.
You're never relaxed, because
Yeah.
if you are relaxed, that's when bad things happen. You know, but to say fear, no. I wasn't. I was always ready,
Sure.
but fear, I wasn't. No. I didn't ever have to fight for my manhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Never really. I mean, to say that I even really seen people have to fight for their manhood, I never even really seen that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I knew that it was going on in certain places, but I just never, you know, I don't want no part of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In any form or fashion.
What about just death in general? You know, shankings, getting stabbed.
Sure. Well, I'm going to tell you like this, bro. If you walk like a man, you act like a man, they're going to treat you like a man.
They
know
won't
what I'm
stab
saying?
a man?
I mean,
Or that's not as popular.
it's not.
I mean,
Okay. So the dude's getting stabbed, and I've seen people have their heads cut almost completely off, bro. But that's because you owe people money. You've done something to get.
Didn't handle your
yourself
own
there.
business. Yeah.
And bro, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm not getting in that mess.
Yeah.
You did that, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me what I thought about it before you did it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to help you get out of it.
Yeah.
You did that. Leave me alone. Don't even come around me. You know?
Series of questions. Is
Okay.
there a way to go to prison and not have to fight? Could I go to prison today and not have to fight?
No.
Probably not. Probably not.
You talk too much.
No, you're gonna have. I mean,
I'm talking about.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some of these dudes that come down there that don't have to fight, but
But they probably look like you don't want to fight them.
no, they're paying people, bro. That's
Yeah.
because, you know what I'm saying. They fall under protection or whatever. I mean, even if you get in their gangs down there, you're gonna have to fight. They're not gonna accept you if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
You
you're
can go to prison. You can go to prison and not join a gang, not get quote unquote protection, and be okay.
I did.
Right.
I did. Yeah, I walked the prison yard for almost 15 years, not affiliated. Now, I am what they would call a wood. I'm white. You know what I'm saying? So now what they call a Perkerwood in prison though has become, that's a gang, and
Right.
so this is my last trip, it was a gang by then. So I wouldn't even let them, don't call me a peckerwood. You know, I'm down. If this is what comes down, I'm down to it. But I'm gonna feed who I want to feed out of my locker. That's my money. It ain't yours. You're not gonna have nothing to say about it. And just because you hear me praying and reading my Bible over here, I like to fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't take my kindness for weakness. I ain't weak. He told me to be meek, not weak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I don't know, bro. I done some boxing down there. I did. You know, I mean, it's either that or, you know, I have seen people come down and go the church route. You know, but bro, if you ain't in it, if it's a game, they're gonna know. They're gonna find out, and as soon as they do, you're gonna wish you'd have never done that. You know what I'm saying?
I've always heard that there's a lot more just genuine respect in prison.
There is.
And that's true.
Absolutely.
If you're a felony, you know, we have respect for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're, like I said, that's what I said when I said, if you act like a man, they treat you like a man.
Right.
That's respect, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, you got these little old thugs that ain't never gonna shut up, and ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's just noise all the time, bro. So somewhere you got to get in your mind that you can just block this out, and you can read a book and be on the beach somewhere in your book. You know what I'm saying? Just how you learn to deal and cope with it. And you have to know that politics work. Politics work. You know, you let them worry about their people. If you got a problem with their people, you can find somebody that's over him and tell them, hey, this is what's going on. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. If I got to look at your boss, then me and him got a box or whatever. But this has got to stop because something's fixing to happen here. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they respect that. They respect that.
Most of the people want peace. You know, if you could say it that way.
Yeah, bro. It's not a. I mean, man, this last stint was so. That prison's changed so much, man. So. Mine, when I was in there in that middle time, bro, if you fought and you took care of your business and you stood up, then they treated you like a man. I myself, I'm a worker. I like to work. I'm probably borderline workaholic. You know, I love to work. It's just what I do. So I worked in prison. So I got good jobs. You know what I'm saying? And then I ended up doing cowboy work and staying on trustee camp and playing softball. And that's just like being home, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to work to get there.
Right.
But you have to have that mindset early on.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get caught up in the gangs and the riffraff and that keeps you tied down, bro. You know? And I was determined that you know, I might not be living for God perfect, but I'm going to live for him enough that you're going to know I serve God.
Yeah.
And enough that when you got problems going on and you need somebody to talk to or pray with, you're coming. You know what I'm saying? And I really and truly, after my middle stint, when I come home in 13, I really and truly wanted to live for God. I really did. I just wasn't completely sold out yet.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought I was. You know what I'm saying? When I left prison, I thought I was coming home and I was going to come to the church and spend time in prayer, and that was just going to be, that's what that was, and I was done. And somewhere it ain't what happened.
So let's back up a little bit. So you said right at the sentencing, close to sentencing, you kind of rekindled a relationship with God.
Right.
What was that like? What was that? I mean, was it because you realized I'm going away for a long time? Well, you already touched on that. It was the knowing that an innocent life had been taken.
Man, this just wasn't where I want to be in life.
Yeah.
Right.
So you started praying again, started reading the Bible
Right.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Started trying to help other people. You know, and that's
hateful?
Huh?
Less hateful.
Yes, a lot less hateful. I really wanted to see other people prosper. I wanted to see the real minister in me came out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My heart, my true calling was coming out again.
Yeah.
I wanted to see other people do good. It wasn't even about me no more. You know, it was that, man, I see your life is, dude, you're a clown. Sit down somewhere. Shut up. Let's talk about something good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you maintained that for the majority of that sentence?
Yeah.
Were you
I did.
clean during that sentence?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
between
By
That's
by
when
choice or was
oh no, there's more drugs in prison, sir,
okay?
than there
That's
is.
what I've heard, but yeah,
When I made it this last trip, when I made it in 2020, they put me on the Michaels unit in Tennessee Colony, which is right adjacent to the Coalfield unit where I was at in 2010 to 2013. Um, they had just busted 10 pounds of methamphetamine. Man, there ain't but 3,500 to 4,000 people on that unit, bro.
that's enough to kill them.
So that is more dope per capita
yeah,
than Jasper County holds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
10 pounds?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a lot of dope to be caught in one situation in Jasper County.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're talking about 3,500 people, bro.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so no, it's wide open and they're smoking whatever they call them Tunchi sticks, bug spray or whatever. It's just horrible, man.
Yeah.
It's just a whole new monster down there. Bro.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But so we're talking about between like 05 and 13.
Uh-huh.
You were.
I was
sober.
clean. Yeah, I was clean. You know, the worst maybe I ever did was drink some hooch. Maybe I think one time I might have smoked a joint or hit on a joint one time, maybe. But no, I wasn't. Didn't want that life no more, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That was maybe a lapse in my area of my life that I was just kind of like, well,
Yeah.
I'm in prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my heart
Right. Right.
heart was already
Right place.
back to the place that I didn't
Yeah.
want this life no
Yeah.
more.
Okay. So
One quick question. Because I think this could bless somebody. When you had that initial conversation where you kicked God out of your life, when you turn back to God, I mean, I know you started living right, but was God to be found?
Absolutely. I went to the same place, and it's kind of ironic to say it this way, but bro, he was right where I kicked him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The mindset that I was at when I kicked him out of my life, when that mindset was over in my life, that's right where I picked God. And I don't mean picked it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But that's right where he was.
Right where it was.
As soon as I said, God, I can't do this by myself no more. You just kind of, okay, here I am. Let's go.
wow.
Yeah.
Just, of course, I cried and snotted and bawled and, spoke in tongues and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just found a place of true repentance. But it was in my heart. I was done. I was
Yeah.
really, really done, you
Yeah.
know? And of course, then I, worked out all the time and become quite a pile of man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's where you want to go next. So 13, you get out
I get out.
and
Come
you're living for God. When you
to
get
the-
out.
Yes.
Church that Sunday.
I did. And that's what I wanted. I really wanted that. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take long for, but I knew that I wasn't done with the women. I was going to have to find me a woman right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that. And I did.
And got married.
Or a woman found me. And I ended up married.
And had another child.
I had another child. I did.
I'm not trying to tell your story.
No, it's okay. I did all those things. A lot of bad decisions were made. And I think if I could pinpoint where those bad decisions started, the first bad decision was when I just wouldn't say that I could live alone. I just can't be by myself. I've got to, the bishop come and see me quite regularly, honestly, y'all. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but the bishop spent some time in travel to see me
While you were in prison.
while I was in prison. Great man, yes.
This was your middle stint?
My middle stint,
Okay.
yeah. And he actually come and seen me my first stint too, I believe. I'm not badly mistaken. And Brother Nash come and see me a couple of times when I was in the Bartlett State Jail. Yeah, so yeah, I had people, trying to put time, investing time and effort.
Yeah.
And the bishop was one of them. And but I had already told him and told my mother, and I just had it set in my mind that I can't. I've got to have somebody. I got to have a woman.
Yeah.
So I know I've got to get married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I come home, that's kind of where my mind was. And so I run into somebody that had Pentecostal raisins. Things just I don't even really know, to be real blunt. I really don't even know why I married her. I don't. She really. I know this is blunt, but she really wasn't built like I thought. No, I'm just being honest, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Just fear of being alone, or
she just, bro.
Well, you had been in prison for 7.5 years.
I had, bro, and I had women all over me here,
yeah.
but I really didn't. I wanted to live for God.
So it felt.
You
like
know
the
what I'm saying?
compromise.
It
felt
did.
like the right. Okay.
It did.
Yeah, that sounds funny. That sounds. God, I'm not going to take this woman that I want. I'm not going to take
Right.
these alluring women. I'm going to take this woman, and I'm still going to serve you.
And she's telling me that she's hungry for you,
Right,
God,
she's
and
got this
and she
Yeah.
has Pentecostal background,
Right,
and
so,
so hey, this is
So
and
I guess to phrase it, you started putting it together in your own mind, and it made
Right.
sense to you, and so therefore it should have been okay.
sure,
Yeah.
it should.
I
have
think
been
we're
okay
all
with
guilty
God.
of that.
Why?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like,
look,
God, I can, yeah.
yeah.
I've been in that situation, different circumstances, but it's like, okay, God, well,
And even some of
this
the areas,
could work out like
Right.
this, so that must be your
and
will.
even in some of the
Yeah.
areas, I'm paying a penance
Yeah.
Right.
to make this work.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
God, I mean, come on, really, God, look,
Right. I'm
Yeah.
trying. Here I
You-
go.
come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
This can't work.
Yeah.
And oh my, there's
say
no
this.
compromise, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a big lesson from your story, and there's so many. Is God doesn't owe me anything.
He don't owe me nothing.
He
bro.
doesn't owe me a thing.
He
Yeah.
don't owe me nothing.
He doesn't have to give me someone. If I have to be alone, I can't.
It's
be
just
alone.
what it
He
is.
can
That's
say,
right.
Suck it up, and I'm gonna be
That's
alone.
right.
Mm-hmm.
God
That's
doesn't
right.
owe me nothing.
And I'm going to tell you something, bro. That was the best place I ever reached in my life. God, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. God, okay. I'm good. I say it like this. I don't know if how y'all editing this or whatever, but I'm just going to say it like this.
Yeah.
I honestly made this statement to God. God, I've slept with more women on accident than most men sleep with on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm okay if I don't ever sleep with another woman.
Yeah.
And I meant that. And when I really meant that with all my heart, sold out to God this
Right.
last trip in prison, my whole life changed.
Right.
Everything changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God, I'm done. I don't care. I don't care, God. I'm done.
Yeah.
If it means I'm by myself forever.
We've got my iPad's about to die. I don't know where it's at, and it was fully charged. So don't blame me.
7%, I think.
So let's hurry. I got a speed round for you, and you can just, in your not Clint fashion, answer this.
Oh, am I not Clint fashion?
You're not so Clint fashion.
Oh.
But because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to ask you. Your dad died.
He did.
In the middle of all this.
Mm-hmm.
You were in prison when he passed.
I was.
And you got, but I remember you got to come to the funeral.
I
Right?
I did. So there was a few days there, that I had just told my friend, probably let's say a month, maybe weeks before, my parents was coming to see me, and I told my friend that this prison it really hasn't cost me. I have rent houses. My rent's paid out of my stuff. My money I'm spending is mine. It's not my folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Right,
don't.
It's not that bad.
I mean, this really ain't bad. It's not cost me nothing. And then I got the call that my dad had died. So I woke up a Saturday morning. My mom and dad were coming, and just something was uneasy in my soul, bro. Now at this time I was talking to God. I was really
This is middle stint or
Middle
last stint? Okay.
Middle stint. I was not completely sold out like I became, but I was talking to God, and so I woke up and I just felt in my spirit that I needed to talk. So I went into that visitation. I said, "Hey, man, I need y'all to talk to y'all." My mom's like, "No, we're okay. Everything's okay." Da 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 da. So I tried again. I'm like, "Look, man, I just need y'all to know that when." And Mom's like, "No, we don't got to talk this way. Whatever, whatever, whatever." So I asked her to go get me a soda. She left, and I told my dad, I said, "I want you to know I got her. I'll take care of her." He told me, "Thank you." I don't know, guys. I just knew what was on my heart.
Right,
He told
yeah.
me, "Thank you." That was on a Saturday, man. I think Tuesday morning he didn't get out of bed. Just that quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was expecting something. I don't know. I don't even know why. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was pretty heavy. And yes, they did let me come to the. The people I worked for, I shoed and ferried horses and trained horses for the field squad. They thought a whole lot of me. So as soon as they found out, they said, "Look, you're going. Whatever we got to do, we'll get you there."
That's
Thank God.
kind, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more we could talk about in that, and there's more that I was kind of going to talk about, but I've got like 20 more questions. Let's talk about before we kind of climb up this hill here at the end.
Okay.
What in all of that?
So that what in all of it? Okay.
From the beginning of your life to current day, what has been the lowest point of your life? Or maybe there's not a lowest. Maybe there's a bunch.
Man, there's so many.
Is there a rock bottom lowest point of your life?
So I guess, man, in 2018, I was sitting in Orange County Jail. And about 6 months prior to me going back to jail, I told God that I wanted the needle out of my arm at whatever it costs. Just don't send me to prison to do it, right? Whatever, just not prison.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting in Orange County Jail on my way back to prison my third time. And these guys just come and talk to me, and they're talking about they're going to try to start at 25 years and go up to a life sentence. And I'm sitting there, and of course, first thing I do is get mad at God. I said, "God, I told you, just don't send me to prison. Me and you talked about this." And the Holy Ghost smoked me and said, "We talked. We talked."
Right. No.
Yeah.
And as soon as that hit me, I'm like, "No, God, I told you what to do." So, but I'm sitting there, and that small interaction took place, and I realized that I'm heading back to prison for the third time for maybe a substantial amount of time this time, and over dope that's not even no good. I'm not even getting high off the dope I'm doing. Right? The man's house that I was taking the stuff out of his shop because he owed me money still hadn't paid me, and to this day still hasn't paid me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm going to prison over.
Try to get that from
Oh no, no. But all of this over
Yeah.
my pride and me being tough, and don't you know who I am? Really? So yeah, that was probably the lowest point of my life right there. That I realized, look, clown, this is the best you're ever going to get doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start coming up the hill. These are kind of tough questions. But they're if you answer them correctly, I guess they have a really high note. This is kind of all of this 2.5 hours for this. You went to prison the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Heart wasn't really right. I guess let's bring it back to the third time. In between the second and the third, your heart was right. You wanted to serve God, and yet you failed again. And I think that is a staple for our Christian lives.
Sure.
My everyday. Paul said, "I die daily."
I die daily.
My question to you, and this is the hard question, is what's different this time? What's going to make Clint Husband not go back to prison next year? You've come back before. You've come back with intention before. What's keeping you from falling again?
My mind's made up, bro. It's just simply made up. I don't care, bro, if y'all accept me. I don't care if people speak to me or don't speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if my children come back and be part of my life or if they don't. I mean, do I care about those things? Of course
Right.
I do. But is that going to deter?
Not gonna affect
I'm
the
done, bro. I'm done. I've tried. Listen, I've tried things that people have only heard and read about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've lived that life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fulfillment. The only fulfillment I have ever found is where I'm at right now, and I'm done. I'm done. There's just no. I don't care, bro. I don't care. And listen, if I miss heaven living where I'm living today, then I just miss heaven because I feel like I'm trying my best. And if I missed it, hey, I missed it trying.
Right.
It ain't. I didn't miss it because I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
What in order to live this lifestyle, what do you guard? What's important to you?
I die daily. Literally. Literally, bro. I will not stop praying. I will not. I will not. When I get out of bed, my household hears me. I wake my household up having a prayer meeting. You know, it might not last. Sometimes it might only last 15 minutes. Sometimes it might last a whole hour. You know, and I'm not doing it to wake my family up. I'm doing it because I've got to get a hold to the throne room. Of course, Clint Ray running his life, I'm going to run it right back to penitentiary every time. I know that. There's no other way about it. Either I'm going to prison or I'm going to the graveyard. That's the only two choices of me doing me, you know. So I have to die daily.
Two schools of thoughts of this question, or two variations of it. What does living in the world cost you? What does living for God cost you?
Man, living in the world costs you your sanity, your peace, and all the hope you've got. Living for God, bro, it don't cost me nothing, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
It don't cost me nothing. I mean, you know, people's like, well, you know, you got to pay tithes. No, I get to pay tithes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, you can't go here. Well, I didn't want to go there anyway. I've done that more times than you'll ever do in your lifetime anyway. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't do, I can't do what? Yes, I could. I just don't want to no more.
Yeah.
It don't make my father happy.
Yeah.
You know? So, no, it really, you know, when I got to the place, Jace, that I was willing to give everything, it didn't cost me nothing. But I had to get there.
Right.
Does that make any
It's
sense?
kind
Yeah.
of a trick question. 'Cause
Yeah.
I kind of think the answer is everything.
Everything, but you have to get there. And then it don't cost you
And
nothing.
it doesn't
Right.
cost you nothing.
Right.
You know, it costs you everything, but then it just gives it all back.
Yeah, then then it didn't cost nothing.
There's somebody listening to this podcast,
Okay.
theoretically. They're stuck in that cycle you lived
Okay.
out for years.
Kind
fail,
of.
try,
One last question,
fail,
and then I'm going to
on
get
and
you
on
to
and on.
ask. the question.
And they're as convinced every time that they try that this is it.
Sum it all up with this.
What would you say to them?
When your life is
Try
over,
again. You know,
you're
just
on your hospital bed.
somewhere,
after
you
your
know,
funeral, whatever.
somewhere I thought
dead.
somewhere
You're
through
gone.
that middle shift, bro, that I really
What
had
do you hope
had
people say about?
had got to
Clint
that
husband?
place, bro, but obviously I hadn't got to that place that I was willing to pay it all. You know, because as soon as I got to that place that I'm willing to pay everything to live for God, it didn't cost me
More than
nothing.
anything,
And
I
know we
want
just went
people
over
to
that.
say that
But that's
he loved
where you
God.
got to be. And until you get
I really
there,
want that
keep
to be
getting
my
up and
life
keep
legacy.
trying. It will happen eventually. I promise it will happen
That he
eventually.
loved God
You might
enough
think, well, I fell again. So what? Get up.
that
Try
he
again.
let his life or let God change his life to the point that he loved people. Yeah.
I like that answer. We have a lot more we could talk about.
We do.
We could talk for hours, and maybe we'll get to do a part 2 one day. But first off, thank you once again for taking time to do this.
Sure. Thank you for asking me.
Yes, you're very welcome. Our privilege. Here's what I want to do. We're going to start a tradition. Whatever. I don't know if you call it a tradition. We're going to start something here. to where for this season, I want you to leave a question for the next guest, not knowing who the next guest is.
Okay.
Think about it. Take time. We can edit out the pause if it's too long. I want you to leave them a question. It could be anything, just as simple or crazy or as long, whatever.
Not knowing who the next person is.
Not knowing who's going to sit in that seat next.
Okay.
But at the end of that podcast, I'm going to ask them this question, and then I want to have them leave a question for someone else.
Okay.
Better write that question down or you're going to forget.
The question I have is, what has it really cost you to live for God? It's a question that I answered some through mine, but it's a question that I think really should merit, and I think that some people really ought to think about it.